What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Lured Up, episode 19. My name is Ken Pescator. I'm one of your hosts, joined by my two co-hosts, Melissa Pescator and Adam Tuttle. Y'alls, what's up?
Yeah, we out here in the podcast jungle.
Today is Sunday, February 18th, 2018. Another fun-filled week of Pokemon Go to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to cover today. This has been a pretty unique week when it comes to how Niantic has decided to roll out content. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff on today's episode. We're going to talk about the mini event and how they've kind of taken over the landscape over the past week or so of the game. Community Day is only a week away, so Adam put together a nice guide he's going to let you guys know about to help you prepare for the event. Team Rocket items at the Avatar store. Taiwan's getting a Safari Zone. GoHub put out a very controversial article about Niantic's inability to deal with cheaters and how they think they have a solution. I love this article. We'll talk about it. And then we'll wrap up the episode with our Battle Party segment, where we're going to be talking about putting a party together for windy weather, which is fitting because now we should have some dragons in our arsenal. And with Dratini coming up, Dratini Day on Community Day, we're going to have some candies, so we're going to have some good dragons in the game. So the landscape is definitely changing. But all right, let's back up to the 13th. So 5 days ago, the Valentine's Day event kind of was sprung on us. We didn't really see this coming because we were coming off the heels of the latest Gen 3 wave that had come out. And they butt right up against the release of that Gen 3 stuff with a Valentine's Day event, which is going to run for 2 days. Triple Stardust on Love Disc and Chansey catches. And Shiny Love Disc was spotted probably 10 minutes after they made the announcement that the thing was live. I think I just transferred 90 Love Disc, not one Shiny.
Yeah.
90?
I think 90. Is that a lot? I don't think that's a lot. Is it?
I think it was a lot. No, I'm just kidding. I have lots of them.
But no Shinies, right?
No, but I mean, I did hatch 100% Love Disc before the event. So, like, I already had it. So I wasn't really, like, hunting them. I was more or less just shiny checking everything.
Yeah, but so you were checking stuff and then not going for the catch? Like throwing it back in the water?
Yeah, catch and release.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever clicked on a Pokemon
done that.
And then not
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Nah, I'm good.
Honestly, I was dropping Stardust or Star Pieces and just like, one catch after the other, and I was just getting so upset because I'm like, I'm catching every single one of these. I thought that would increase my chances of getting a shiny, and there's some that I wasn't even able to click to check because I was like in the middle of catching one, and I like two spawned, but I was catching one, so it was tough. Like,
no, they were everywhere. It was like Swablu. They were everywhere.
And before the event, I was freaking out because I only had 2 or 3 candy left because I've been throwing them at my 100%, trying to level it up as far as it can go. And now I'm sitting, after being so desperate for so long, I am sitting at 1,078 candies for Love Disc.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, I think your 100% Love Disc will be fed for the rest of its life.
So good.
And I mean, let's not even get started on my Swablu candy. I have 1,065 of those.
And you haven't
That's
evolved yet,
insanity.
though. But you haven't evolved.
I haven't evolved.
But so what?
See, the Go Plus is awesome, man.
No, I think most of those are just hand tosses because I haven't
you were
really
shiny checking, right?
I haven't really depended on my Go Plus. Like it's kind of sad, but it's like I Poke Plus and I know the CP for 100% weather boosted Slack or Slackoth or whatever, and I Poke Plussed it while I was at work, and I'm like, okay, well if it was meant to be, it was meant to be, but it's just like it's so upsetting that like I know. I went in my journal and I saw it.
Yeah, but you can't have the game up and open like the whole time or at work.
I know. So
Yes, you can.
it's a tough life. But
First
I did
world
do
problems. I can't play my game.
I was able to do a Swablu raid, and I shared it on our Instagram. But it came out and it was shiny. I've never seen a shiny from a raid, so
it's awesome, dude. You're a magnet. I'm telling you, you're a magnet.
It took me by storm. It really I was parked like on the sidewalk because you can't get into the graveyard. People were, behind me, I was a very, very big inconvenience to their travel. So I was like, great, I feel awful. And I didn't even realize it was a shiny until after I had pulled away and like, I had already like, you know, because I knew that I had 14 balls because it was Team Instinct, so I got every bonus possible.
Right.
And so like I just randomly threw 2, and I'm like, ugh. And then I look down, I'm like, it's a shiny. Are you kidding me?
That's hilarious. We actually did our first Absol raid, not shiny for either of us, but we did our first Absol raid and finally got that in the decks this week. I'll always try to do a raid that has a boss that has potential for shiny, because I don't think it's been documented, but it has to have a higher odd when it's
because
a raid
that's
boss.
the only way to get, you know, Mawile or Absol.
Or Absol, right. And there's
I do
plenty
every
of shinies
Mawile
out there. It's so easy. You use one Flareon or Moltres or something, it just goes down immediately.
Especially weather boosted in the sun, which always happens, so I'm like, sweet.
All right, so let's talk about Chansey, though. I saw you posted on social media that you like went out into the woods to find one, which was really hilarious. He has like, you know, screen recorder footage, and he's like, it's just like the normal gameplay footage. It doesn't look like anything, you know, weird. And then all of a sudden you go into AR mode and camera mode, and you're like in the woods in the snow.
Yeah, so where I was clicking, like in the video is where I actually live, like on the other side of the street. I just walked straight into the woods. And then I eventually found it, but I was like, geez, like it says there's a Chansey, like I'm taking a chance on Chansey. I'm going to go get it. And I walked around trying to find it, and eventually I found it.
When they announced the Valentine's Day event and they put the image out and it's all Love Disc, but they mentioned Chansey, I kind of had a feeling that Chansey was still going to be super hard to find, like it wasn't going to be very common at all. And I didn't see one until the very end of the event. Now, this is where there was a little bit of a weird thing that had happened. So about an hour or two prior to the event time ending, there was a global outage from Niantic where Ingress went down and Pokemon Go went down, and the games were just completely offline. So I think they were down for like an hour or so, maybe
yeah, it was
a little
awful.
bit longer.
My ride home was going to be like a shiny check or a shiny hunt, like,
and you were locked out the whole time.
And I was locked out.
But once the servers came back online, they put out a little like, you know, apology message, and they said Valentine's Day's been extended another day. And then they drop on us that the next mini event for Lunar New Year was going to be happening starting right now. So we had on the 15th through the 17th, we had the Lunar New Year event, which was the Chinese Year of the Dog. So they have Poochyena, Growlithe, Eevee, Electrike, and Snubbull. Triple Stardust on those catches. I don't know why they excluded Houndour. That doesn't make really any sense. Like, that's the most doggy of all of them that are out now. But Shiny Poochyena was going to be the shiny for the event. So now we have 2 back-to-back mini events coming right off the heels of a Gen 3 wave. They're releasing a shiny with each of these events. And the community is just going nuts, and everyone's out there catching like crazy. And again, 10 minutes after they announced this, the shiny Poochyena, you know, images started to circulate on Reddit and Twitter and everything. And
which is awesome. I love that.
But the way they did this, they've never done this before. Because in the past, when they did a mini event, it would be like a water event or a fire type event or something like that, where they would dedicate a weekend and it would be, you know, an isolated event. It was never like back to back to back like it was this past week. So I thought this was a really cool way to deliver the content and deliver a new shiny, because it kept everyone super engaged. And then this is coming on top of the fact that Rayquaza is our raid boss now. So you're out there doing Rayquaza, and then you have these shiny check moments the whole time you're playing while you're raiding. So I think they did a good job with that. But how did you make out with the Lunar New Year event? I mean, I left this whole event with no shinies.
I didn't get any shinies from this event.
Yeah. Oh, and I only caught one damn Chansey.
I didn't even see Chansey. and I needed Chansey bad because I'm still trying to get my Blissey.
And I did catch one Chansey, but it was the extension. It was during the extension of the event. So what, you know, if it didn't get extended because of the outage, I wouldn't have even seen one. But same thing with Lunar New Year. I didn't see any shinies. There was a couple shinies in my area, like my group posted in Discord and stuff like that, but they evaded me. They evaded me this event, which is still fun though. They did. I like it. I like the shiny hunt.
I checked so many. I feel like I got a decent amount, and I've spent Love Disc candy too. So like, that's not how many I actually got. I got a lot more.
You got to check in your Pokedex. I mean, that's crazy. That's awesome though. I mean, that's especially with if you're running a star piece and you have triple Stardust to begin with, plus you're getting another 0.5. That you could seriously rock.
450 each one.
Yeah, you were desperate for Stardust.
I still am because I leveled up. I didn't even realize that all my Pokemon could be
powered up again.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at my Lugia like, you need 15 candies, eh?
Yep.
So you're gonna need another 30. Game on. No, but I mean, as far as this these little events, it's like, cool. The next one's gonna be like raining cats and dogs through the whole month of April. If it's raining for the weather condition, it's gonna be just cats and dogs, like, something crazy like that.
The old Meowth event.
Well, Meowth, Skitty.
They could do like a flower event
for the spring.
No, and just tons of
Roselius. No, or Oddish would be cool. Yeah,
Oddish.
Anything that looks like a vegetable. But
I caught a wild Victory Bell today.
Victory Bell. We see Weeping Bells all the time around here, but yeah, Bell. Victory Bell, rare. That's a rare wild catch for reals. But has your Rayquaza hunting gone? We went out today, and Melissa got her Dex Rayquaza.
I finally got one. Yeah. It's terrible.
I
think it's the lowest possible CP you can get.
It's like 2004.
20, I think it's 2206. 2206 or something? I don't know.
Don't worry, we still have time.
Yeah, I've got 5 Rayquaza now, and they're all terrible. They're all like, I think my highest one is 81% or something like that.
It's 2006 CP.
2006?
Yeah.
No, yeah, 2006.
2006.
Yeah, that's poor.
I mean, so on my way to go shopping, I did an Absol raid. And
nice.
everybody was moving from there to the Rayquaza down the street, but I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I gotta go. So I was only able to do an Absol raid, but no shiny.
Rayquaza, we had a big group today. We had 15. We did 2 back-to-backs. I mean, they were going all day. We kind of hijacked their train a little bit.
For a little bit.
We were just like, let me jump on this car, real quick. And we just did 2 back-to-back. Rayquaza's easy, man. It was like 15, 20 seconds. The thing went down.
I had a hard time hitting it, though. Like,
yeah,
you were
fumbling.
I felt like it was really far away. Like, I was having the same problem that I was with Kyogre when they did the update.
The distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Andrew was talking about that to me today. He's like, yeah, I did two different Rayquaza raids and I couldn't even catch it.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I had to throw the ball like all the way up into the corner of my phone.
It's definitely a more, I do a higher arcing throw.
Yes.
But with Prodigy's Nation Trick, like, I'm nailing excellent throws pretty much every single time. But the throw arc is like, I feel like I'm going like, whee! Like I'm throwing the ball way up to the top of the screen, but it's a big, huge, long arc, but I've been fairly consistent, but I went 1 for 2 today. I caught the first one, the second one ran.
But, mind you, he's instinct too, so he's only getting like 7 balls because he's the only instinct.
Dude,
we're playing as a handicap.
You're gonna
right
have
now.
to start recruiting, man. I'm telling you, that's what Instinct needs to do is start handing out pamphlets. Join the Yellow Resistance. The underdogs, but so we had all these mini events. We're leading into next week, February 24th, Saturday.
Community Day.
Adam, you put a lot of work into this. Let's have it. What do we need to do to prepare for this event? How are we going to be able to maximize this small 3-hour window Niantic is giving us?
Okay, so the 2 main focuses are that we're going to have 3 times the amount of Stardust gained on catches, and it's going to be all about your Dratini. So what you're going to need in your bag, you should have 6 star pieces and 6 incense, because these are going to last for a half hour, and it's a 3-hour window, so you need 6 of them, because that'll last you the 3 hours. You need at least 1 lure, because you should, help out the community by dropping a lure at any Pokestop.
Just one?
Just one?
Just one.
I mean, if you have 14 or 28, just drop as many as possible.
Drop them like they're hot.
Lure it up.
Lure it up. And then you want lots of Pokeballs. Grape, Ultra. The lures are going to last for the full 3 hours, where incense and star pieces will need to be reset every 30 minutes. These are to increase your maximum CPM, catches per minute. take time and organize and cleanse your box.
Giggity.
Take this time to do evolution parties, transfer all unnecessary Pokemon. Hint, hint, Adam, all of your Delibirds that you do not need, which I have done already. Well, not all of them, but like a good portion.
I kept the 40 closest friends.
The goal here is to maximize your ability to catch without having to transfer anything during this 3-hour event window. You're going to need your Go Plus device. You're going to need to delete potions, revives, berries in an effort to have as many balls as possible for this 3-hour window. I would suggest a restock run the night before or the morning of the event. The Go Plus will be the biggest asset to this event, so if you don't have one, I would suggest picking one up before the event. This is going to allow you to ABC, always be catching. This will maximize the Stardust gained. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And this is going to get you the most Stardust overall. Try not to Go Plus Dratinis unless you've already checked them to see if they're shiny, because there's a huge chance that we're going to see a shiny variant of Dratini. So watch your screen for which Pokemon the Go Plus is picking up on.
That's hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because for me, sometimes the Go Plus will start buzzing, and I'll see the icon of it pointing out where on the map a Pokemon is, but the Pokemon won't visually appear. Like, I can start to catch it with the Go Plus, but I can't see it yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's hard sometimes. But just hold out for it.
But we got to see, because who knows? I mean, I'd imagine when this event starts, I think that we actually get it. We get it after others do on other parts of the world. So we're going to know as soon as our event starts whether or not there's going to be shiny Dratini.
Right, and the whole point is you want to be like laser focused. You don't want to be doing anything else besides catching these Dratinis. It's a big deal, and it's like, nobody talk to me. Nobody text me. Nobody call me. I just need to be focusing on just catching.
Well, I think this is going to be a good opportunity for people to, start filling in their Dragon Tamer badge. That's the one badge that I don't have when it comes to type catches, and I'm a far way off. I think I'm only at like 109 out of the 200 to get the gold badge. And the gold badge is going to help you significantly with your catch rate on Rayquaza as well. So this is kind of a good way to kind of tag team the development of your core stat infrastructure of your character, because, getting this Dragon Tamer badge, now's your chance, because if the Dratini are going to be as common as the Pikachu, if you're out there grinding, you're going to be able to catch 100, or more.
Exactly. And so you're going to want to have a planned walking route, because you're going to have incense and they spawn more Pokemon if you're actually like walking instead of just standing still. So this will be a huge factor in the spawn rate and catches. You want to focus on an area with several stops as close as possible together, but far enough away where you can keep walking and take full advantage of your incense and the 3-hour lured up Pokestops. Like what I did there? Lured up.
That's awesome, man.
And so, I was watching Trainer Tip's video, and he was saying that he was saving his pineapple berries. And I was like, what? Like, no, you just need to be focused on catching. Like, I don't get time to go through berries and feed them to everyone. But this event, Niantic came out and they gave us this new info where if you evolve your Dratini up to a Dragonite, the Dragonite will learn Draco Meteor.
Which is awesome.
So now it's like you're in this race to get 100, get a decent, Dratini, and then evolve it as soon as possible. Or walk 10-kilometer eggs and try to get a good Dratini.
But check it out. I don't think that it specifically says that you have to catch the Dratini at the event. Because all it says is when you evolve your Dragonair to a Dragonite during the event window, the Dragonite will have Draco Meteor. So I think you could be sitting on a Dragonair right now and 100 candies. And the second that the event starts, evolve it to Dragonite, and you're going to have Draco Meteor, even though you didn't catch the Dratini from the event. That's how I'm kind of reading into it.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Well, I have one, so...
You have a 98% or something
I do,
ready
I have
to go. So Melissa's and she's got candy too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
I know. See, holding on to that candy,
I'm
paid
ready
off.
to go.
And now I'm beat because I already evolved all my Dragonites, and I have like a 98% and 100%, and I dumped every bit of candy I've had into them So I'm only sitting at like 41 candy. And of course I'm working on Saturday. So I'm on
Beat Street.
I'm taking the short bus to Beat Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are taking a half-hour break.
I know.
Extend it for 40 minutes. You know me. No.
The screenshot they showed of Draco Meteor, the actual art on it, like the animation looks to be like it could be awesome. Like, with the asteroids coming down, or the meteors coming down, it looked really cool in the image they released. But GoHub put together a little comparison of Draco Meteor versus Outrage, and Outrage still might be the better performing move under more circumstances, but Draco Meteor is just cool. Yeah. I just want it. And Solomons can also get Draco Meteor. That's the only other active Pokemon in the game that can get Draco Meteor, and it can get it normally. I am so far from a Solomons. Like, there's Pokemon in Gen 3 this last wave that I just have not seen at all. And, they're making
For me, it's Trapinch.
So,
yeah.
I haven't seen one in the wild. Get this. I hatched 4 Trapinch in the past week, and I have 101 candy from the 4 hatches.
How crazy is that?
The first 2 hatches were 32 candy each, and then the others were split, 20, 17, whatever it was. But it's insane. And I've only caught that. I've hatched 1 Bagon and caught 1 Bagon. I haven't seen a Beldum, and I don't even know where these Pokemon are spawning, but they ain't spawning anywhere I'm at.
No.
I have 101 Trapinch candy, but I don't want to evolve it to the Vibrava now, because what if I find it a Vibrava? I'll save 25 of those rare, those sweet candies.
Sweet candy.
I don't know.
But to end my little guide, the Sylph Road is doing the handshakes. Try to get these out of the way 30 minutes before the event or shortly after the event ends. Just because this event is all about catching nonstop. So unless you have a Go Plus going while you're doing the handshake, you're losing that sweet, sweet Stardust.
That's a good point too, because when I was at my EX raid, people were from the Discord were getting set up, getting ready to drop in on Mewtwo, and people are doing handshakes and stuff. And it's like, wait till after or do it. Yeah. You should have got here earlier. Like, we're ready to go. So that's a good point too. Like, why waste time? If you only have 3 hours, man, 3 hours for me, like a 3-hour grinding session sounds long.
A 3-hour tour.
I want to go on that tour.
And last but not least, just have fun. This one's a no-brainer, and just enjoy the day with other trainers and just stay positive and remember to be aware of your surroundings.
You're so safe. Such safety first. Wear glasses. All right, speaking of wearing glasses. No. All right, wait, let's this is a good one.
Wear a Rocket helmet.
Team Rocket avatar items get released. They are amazing.
Yes, they are.
They're amazing. And they're expensive as hell. And I bought them all.
Of course you did.
No, Adam, what do you think of these? It's when they announced this, I don't know, 30 seconds after I read the article, my avatar with head to toe was in Team Rocket gear.
I loved it.
It was awesome.
I think they look good on you.
Yeah.
On your avatar. My avatar is just going to kind of stay the same.
See,
I don't have any like super,
Valor,
super...
it looks cool. The Valor kind of goes with the theme with black and red. I can see, but the Rainbow Rocket is awesome too. I didn't buy the Rainbow Rocket variations. My pockets weren't that deep.
Yeah, my bag is always empty, so.
Ken, how much were these?
So I spent 850 coins on the outfit. And then I also bought the old school 3D glasses, which I think were like 160. So I spent like 1,000 coins on it.
That's way too many coins.
So I Jersey J had messaged me and, I don't know, we're talking about Rayquaza or something like that. And he's like, did you see the Team Rocket gear? And I post him, I sent him a picture of my avatar and he's like, no, I forbid you to spend, money on this game unless it's on like, performance based upgrades. Like you should have bought Lucky Eggs or something. But, oh man, I love the way this looks. I think when we had, in the raid today, I mean, there was 15 of us, but there was a good 5 or 6 people in the raid that were head to toe Team Rocket, and the lobby looked awesome. Mm-hmm. It looked so cool. And the female outfits are awesome. They have I think it's even more expensive for the female because they break out the belt into a separate category. So they have another SKU they could sell you on the female side.
Money grab. No.
Hey man, look, with a free-to-play game, items like this, where there's no actual gameplay benefit to getting this. It's purely aesthetic. Activision had their end of year sales call, and it came out that they made $4 billion on microtransactions last year.
Oh my God, that's
and
crazy.
That's how much in sales. And, from Overwatch and stuff, there was a huge amount of that where it's just aesthetics, just going to be, stuff to make, your character look good and weapon skins and stuff like that. It's interesting.
I know that feel because I play Overwatch.
Well, you play Overwatch, and it's like you see people all decked out, and that's a huge investment financially from the player because they upgrade that stuff a lot. Like that's a good cycle of commerce for Activision.
The League skins for all of the
yeah, that's what I heard. They're all
Avatar,
awesome.
They're like, I'm like, whoa! I got the free one, and I was good with that. I mean, in hindsight, I would have rather it been on Winston, but whatever. But so many other ones look awesome, and I'm like, geez, you get to see them all, but in the moment, you just choose.
I could see Niantic doing this kind of thing on a regular basis, where they have some type of theme avatar set, where you can buy the pieces individually. I thought it would have been nice if they had a package where you save 100 or 200 coins if you buy everything. That would have been cool. But I could see them doing this every now and then, and this is a nice little revenue stream for them because I can imagine the nostalgia with Team Rocket. Current Pokemon people that got into Pokemon recently or just for Pokemon Go, they may not have any affinity to Team Rocket, but the people that have been in it a long time, Team Rocket means a lot. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, I think that's why it did so well, but it's going to be interesting to see how much money people spend on this. You want Team Plat? I actually like the Team Aqua logo.
Team Skull, as much as I hate them, I would love to have their gear.
Yo.
Team Skull is the best.
Oh, they drive me crazy.
Team Skull is the best. Just like, yeah, boy.
Don't you know who they think they are?
Let's jump over to international news really quick. Another Safari Zone event was announced. I really want one of these in the U.S. I think that after the debacle of GoFest in Chicago, they could probably do well with a smaller based event like this. And I don't know why this isn't like touring through the US, but there's going to be one at the Taiwanese Lantern Festival, which is going to be amazing. And for the event, Mr. Mime is going to be spawning. So that's going to be the regional that'll break the region lock. There's going to be higher spawns of Dratini, Growlithe, and Magikarp during the day. And how cool is this? At night, once they start releasing the lanterns, Chinchou and Lantern will have increased spawns. And the rumor mill is saying that one of those will be shiny. So either, one of the morning spawns, Mr. Mime, Dratini, Growlithe, or Magikarp. Well, we already have Magikarp and maybe the Dratini, but Chinchou or Lantern shiny for the event, maybe. And, also there's going to be a whole bunch of unknown letters C, H, I, A, Y, G, X, and F. So I am still unknown-less.
Yeah.
That's got to be the holdout Pokemon. I mean, like, if people go to this event, they catch 50 unknown. And then little old everyday players can't find them. Actually, there was I didn't see the post, but in my Discord, someone had posted that this morning at 5 a.m. in Keensburg, the spot that we normally go to play, an unknown had spawned at 5 in the morning. So people were out there getting it, but not me. I was Kirby Dreamland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some people post and they're like, did you get it? And it's like, no, I checked my phone like 2 hours ago and saw that it was a post. And
I think that the Safari Zone should come to the States. I think that anytime they're going to be dumping unknowns during an event, people are going to be willing to travel. And how they did them in malls in Europe, there's probably no other country that has more malls than the US, I'd imagine. So if they wanted to do them in malls, there's, I know I have like Simon Mall network, by me. They could do a deal with Simon or do a deal with, whatever mall, chain there is out there and bring this to America. I want this. I want these kind of events in the US. I mean, I don't know. If there was another Go Fest, do we talk about this? If there's another Go Fest planned for this summer, would you go? Or
Yes.
would you be, I mean, I know I would.
I would want to go.
Right?
Yeah.
But will the people that got burned in Chicago, how would they feel? The people that went last year, would they want to go? I think these type of events might make it a little bit of a softer entryway back to the U.S. big event for Niantic. Because I think people might be scared. They got burned. They got burned last time.
Yeah, but even if I get burned, I'll still get that sweet, hush hush money.
It's funny because a couple of the people from other Pokemon Go podcasts went to Go Fest and got that, I think on Pokemon Go Radio, they call it their hush money, like you said, but they still have it. Like they're still I think they got like only $100 in coins. I guess I'm just so used to spending so much money in this game that, $100, I mean, that wouldn't last me a year.
I don't think I've spent $100 total since I've started playing the game.
Well, with that being said, I just looked up the flights, and I don't just have an extra, $1,200 to just blow.
$1,200, that's all?
To go. Yeah, I want to go. I was like, I'll think about going, and then I was like, oof, it's a pretty hefty price, and that's not including hotel or food or anything, so I think I'll just sit this one out. I don't need a known that bad, right?
That's a very expensive unknown.
All right, Ken, tell us about this GoHub article and how to deal with cheaters.
This was a great article, and GoHub has really been expanding their editorial side. They reached out to the community to have community writers get involved, and their writing staff has increased over the past couple weeks, and really cool articles have been coming out that are data driven, but sort of op-ed. And they're covering really cool topics, and I really appreciate what they're doing here. So they put out this article. The headline is "The Logistics Behind Niantic's Inability to Deal with Cheaters and How Bots Can Fix It." So you got to be ready to be a nerd going into this article, because they explain, it's real easy for people on the internet to just, say flip that switch, and fix cheating or fix spoofing and just, ban people and, just get rid of them, get the people out of the game. And they took a very impartial approach to how that would affect the player base if they were to do something where they would mass ban cheaters or spoofers or people that are botting within the game. Now, get this, listen to these numbers here. That I thought this was super, super interesting. Based on John Hankey last April, he said that there were still 65 million active monthly users of the game. So still 65 million people a month, right? They estimate that 5% of the player base is cheating in one capacity or another, whether it's going to be spoofing or botting or, just doing whatever the bad people do, right? When you have a player base that's 65 million people, that 5% is still 3.25 million players. 3.25 million players that are probably spending money on the game. When you look at it like that, you say, all right, well, now this isn't just about banning your couple local cheaters. This could be, this is millions of players worldwide. So it would be a huge undertaking to do it like that. Now, if 10% of those banned actually complained or actually, stood up and said, wait a second, I shouldn't be banned, and appeal that ban, that would be 325,000 complaints that Niantic would have to field. Meaning, and they broke it down even further, that it's pretty much 100 days worth of work to handle the appeal process of 325,000 complaints. It would take, Niantic support completely offline for 3.5 months. It's not practical to do that approach. So what GoHub said is, what if we employ bots into the game that are scrubbing the game's data, and there's a submission process, just like there kind of is now, where you can, send a Niantic support or whatever. You can, call someone out by username and say, hey, I think this person's up to no good. But rather than a human get that information and decide what to do with it, a bot would receive that information, then run a scan. And this article also says, they have the matrix, Niantic has the ability to get location data and all that stuff from all its players on the drop of a dime. So we're assuming that Niantic has that ability. Someone gets a complaint, the bots scrub the data, They say, yes, something seems weird here. You know, they're registered in this location, then they're over at this location, and over at this location. Yes, delete, ban, you know, and the ban hammer comes down automatically. And then at that point, if the person says, wait a second, I shouldn't have been banned, and they want to appeal it, at that point, it would go to a human channel. But the entire process of getting to the ban stage would be completely automated by a bot system. Now, these are the same. Now, when I read this, I was like, man, that sounds awesome. That sounds cool. You know, this is a hands-off approach to doing this. And then I'm thinking to myself, the same bots that these trackers are using to scrub geodata with scanning for Pokemon spawns or raids or whatever it may be, Niantic would have to kind of employ these own tactics back at them by having their own bots that are scrubbing data as well. And I'm thinking to myself, that could be a drain on resources right there alone. It's just a very interesting approach to how they could deal with this. And I think stuff like this is being written and coming out because the general community just thinks that Niantic is doing nothing about it. And I can't say that they are or aren't, because I haven't heard much of anything about those Pokemon that had like the slash through it if they were known to be caught through, you know, spoofing. Like, have you heard of that do you remember when that came out?
Even in the community, nobody has said anything. And I know for a fact that some people in the community have spoofed before. They haven't said anything about getting a red line through any of their Pokemon. So they just said it was like soft ban. So they've gotten like just Pidgeys and Rattatas.
Right. I just see this as a very complex issue. I don't know how they're going to address it on a mass scale like this. I think this is really interesting. It may also be the work of, you know, someone's imagination where they could just say like, yeah, you know, let the bots out, let the bots get them. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much more to it than that. But reading through this article, and this is like definitely a commitment when it comes down to an article. This is a hefty article here. It got me thinking, what if Niantic were to release a pay service where they offer their own scanner or they offer their own tracker in some capacity where it's not necessarily detracting from the gameplay?
No.
I don't know.
No.
How could they,
No.
it's like joining the dark side. I don't understand.
No,
I don't know
So
how
what they could do, you know how we gain 50 coins max per day? Using 25 coins till the end of the day, till just like the game resets for your Pokespins or whatever, like from that point in that certain area that you're in, and you just are alerted of everything.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know how they can address this.
Or it gives you like a double, like, you know, your standard circle where you see everything. It gives you a double circle so you can see a wider range of things.
You know, I think Terry Wolf on Twitter said something to that capacity, where he was like, maybe as a reward for the quest or something, your tracker range, like your ring, would go out further. And I thought that was pretty cool. That's a cool idea. But I don't know. I think that the people in Niantic that are behind the scenes have to be contemplating if even 5% of their community wants some or is using something. And, you know, I'm so guilty of being like that secondhand user of these tools because everyone in my Discord is using them. Everyone in my raid group is using them. Like, you can't avoid it.
I think to know about raids is the utmost important and most crucial thing that, as like a secondhand user, the only way that I get my raid information is either by using like a map to find out like where raids are. Cause like I'm not just going to go drive around if there's nothing out there, you know? And that's the case. That's been the case before. Like, I'm wasting gas. I'm wasting time just driving around and there's nothing, no eggs hatching. There's no eggs popping. Meanwhile, everybody is on the chat, you know, saying, hey, come to Dover. There's this, that, and the other thing here.
Well, that's what they want you to use. They want you to use the chat. They want you to use the community. They don't want you to use the trackers. They want you to talk to each other.
But someone in the community is initiating it through a tracker, and then they bring that information to the chat.
I get it, but they don't want you to do that.
I know, but how? So what can they possibly do? That's what I mean. It's like I don't see how they can address. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, my head explodes just thinking about it, let alone thinking of a solution for it. But today when we went out to raid, we were like, hey, let's go get your Rayquaza. I put in the chat, where are you guys at? Where should I'm leaving my house now. Which direction should I go in? They told me where to go. I met him there. We did the raid. They're like, here's the next one. We went to the next raid, in and out, an hour, 2 raids. We were on our way. And the only way that was possible is because they had maps. They had a scanner and they knew exactly where to go and put that in the chat. Go here next.
Yeah. And people in my community, they're like, it's only $5. Just do it. It's priceless. And I'm like,
yeah, but the toll on the resources of the game, man, it's crazy. Like,
right. So I haven't done it. It's like, that's too invasive. I don't know. It just makes the game not as fun as it can be.
I could see scanners being more, or Niantic doing something with a map where it lets you know where raids are more so than where Pokemon are. Because, letting you know where a Pokemon spawn. Yeah, or something.
And see that there's eggs in the corners, so you know that there's like eggs, or you know which Pokemon.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's actually a great idea. So you could look at your list, and if you've been to that gym before, or as a perk for having a gold medal in that gym, maybe that way you can see whatever raid activity is going on in real time. And then you can, say, all right, I can look at this, and without being in proximity to that gym, I know there's 40 minutes left on that raid egg, or something like that. That's kind of cool.
That there's a timer on it, just that you can see an egg in the corner, just so you don't have that additional resource being drained from like the servers or whatnot.
Yeah, it's just because when I kind of figured out how trackers worked, where you pick a point on the map, you touch it, it gives you a diameter, and everything in that circle, if there's any spawns there, are going to pop up on the tracker. And when I figured out that the way they're doing it is they're building a grid and spoofing bot accounts into, to fill out that circle. And then that's how they're getting the proximity data off those bots of what's spawning in that zone. I was like, this is nuts, because every time one person scans, it's like 20 bots are getting spoofed out. And I was like, this is nuts. Like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a solution. I just don't know. I'd rather say, hey, here's my $5 a month and give it to Niantic for some kind of official way to get some of this data. I don't know. But is that like joining the dark side? I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough.
It's a tough one. It's such a
like
crazy
I said,
thing.
I feel like that'd be okay for at least raids, because you have to coordinate. You have to have the bigger groups. That's how you bring the community together.
Right.
Not necessarily the individual Pokemon. Like, hey, there's Snorlax here. Like, that's better with word of mouth. That's, you know what I mean? Like, that can stay like that.
Or maybe you can make, like, say, like an item that you can purchase from the shop that's like a one-time use raid tracker, right? Like a one-time use raid tracker. So, like, if you're planning on going out with a group for the day, you can purchase the raid tracker. Like, one person in your group purchases
gives you like
the raid tracker,
couple miles, or I don't know.
And you could type in one type of Pokemon.
Because when we left the Rayquaza raids, we wanted to do an Aggron. We're still yet to do an Aggron raid. So we're rolling out and we're on our way home, and we were with Melissa's brother Kyle. He's like, all right, where's the Aggron raids at? And I'm like, I don't know. The only way I'm going to know is if we see one on the way home, because I don't use the tools. And it's just like, I see how that could detract from the game, because it kind of leaves it up to chance. And I understand that's the point of it, where you need to get out there and be there. But
sometimes you ain't got the time or the gas or the money.
Yeah. Ken and I work. Melissa, you work. Like, we work. We have places we have to be, so we can't just be at that gym all day long.
I ain't got the money to be spending in gas just driving around.
But isn't that selfish, though? Isn't that saying, like, because it's not easy for me, wah, wah, wah?
No.
I didn't say it has to be easy.
It's cold out.
Yeah. Okay.
When it's
warm
Niantic,
out, I'll be in below zero temperatures just sitting at this one gym, walking around downtown. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Niantic does with this topic, because clearly it's one of the most heated topics in the community. The majority of the community is getting their information through trackers. And I say the majority, and I mean, you would think that, oh man, that's too much of a generalization, but I don't know. In my circle, everyone's on these maps. Everyone's on these trackers. And like, I'm going to be working out where I want to create a Discord with my local group. We're going to branch off into our own Discord. And we were like, yeah, we're going to do it legit. Meowthbot's going to be the only one. Everything's going to be user based. And it's like, I'm talking to the guy, Paul, today. He's like, yeah, man, everyone we're talking to is like, they want the trackers in there. And it's like, I think it's too far gone now to pull back.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how to do it. Niantic, give us something. Tell us how are you? I just don't know. I don't know. My head explodes trying to think about it. I can imagine John Hankey's head is like banging it into like the plate glass window. Like, why? Yeah. Why? All right, but let's wrap up our show with our battle party segment. Now that we have some dragons and we will have some dragon candy coming our way with Dratini on the community day. Let's talk about windy weather. Dragon, flying, and psychic moves are boosted during windy conditions. So let's talk about dragon Pokemon. I mean, you can't talk about dragon without Dragonite. I mean, I've got all my Dragonites right now decked out with Dragon Tail Outrage. All my Rayquazas are crappy at this point, so I haven't given them any TM, so I don't even know if I have Dragon Tail Outrage on Rayquaza, but I'd imagine that the majority of people's windy weather parties are going to include Dragonite in some form or another, because I believe, can't Dragonite also get flying moves?
Yes.
So regardless of moveset for Dragonite, and the same applies to Rayquaza, like you can have an Air/Aerial Ace Rayquaza, or any combination of Dragon Tail Outrage with Air/and Aerial Ace, and in either case you're going to get Stab plus the bonus moves, because Flying Dragon type, you get that bonus. I think that in this game, there's no better attacker under most conditions, especially in a windy condition, than a Dragon Tail Outrage Dragonite. That's like one of my favorite attackers in the whole game.
Yeah, his DPS is just outrageous. And
then we talked about Salamence. I mean, I haven't seen I'm so far off from being able to have a Salamence that, it's not going to be in my party.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
This is the other Pokemon that can get Draco Meteor, so you can have a Dragon Tail Draco Meteor Salamence, which is cool. I want to see this animation. I want to see that move, in motion. I want to see what it looks like. But you got Dragon Tail Outrage on your Rayquaza or your Dragonite, and you're going to be in a good position. And then the same thing what I got, like I was saying with flying, Rayquaza with Air/Aerial Ace, why not, right? Like there's not many strong Pokemon that are just going to be benefiting from flying attacks. So,
unless you got 100% Pidgeot.
But still. And then Psychic, we're going to have Mewtwo. If you're in a position where you have a Mewtwo, that's going to do well for you. Confusion Psychic. Alakazam is another good attacker with dual Psychic moves. I have here listed as alternates Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Crobat. So Ho-Oh
Lugia.
Lugia is cool because you can have flying and psychic moves. So even if you don't have the best singular moveset, and you kind of have this hybrid where you have one flying move, one psychic move, you're still going to get that bonus from windy weather. And Crobat, same thing, you get that flying psychic combo. This may not be the best if you want high damage. You're kind of limited with the amount of diversity that you can have. But there's definitely a diverse lineup you could have because there's plenty of flying Pokemon. They're just not big output Pokemon. Aerial Ace is going to be the best charge move in the flying lineup, but it's typically the weaker move in anyone's lineup. So even when it's at its best, it's going to be, not so good. Not so good.
Even when it's at its best, it's still its worst. No.
So I don't know. If I'm in a windy condition, I'm bringing Dragonites. I'm bringing Mewtwo, even though Mewtwo's a glass cannon. I'll probably bring Rayquaza, Lugia. There's not a lot of opportunity to use Lugia. I only have one Lugia. Only caught one when it was available. So I'd probably bring 3 Dragonite, 2 Rayquaza. No, 3 Dragonite, a Rayquaza, a Mewtwo, and a Lugia. Something like that.
Sounds good.
But now you're going to be able to have your Draco Meteor Dragonite after next weekend.
Correct.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I don't have any rare candy either. I don't have any rare candy that I can just dump into a Dragonite. Oh man.
All those evolution parties you've done.
Well, I am level 40. Yay! I think I've already.
Now you miss out.
I think I'm already. Since leveling up, I picked up another 500,000, I think, XP. So it starts going quick. You know, when you were out there just go plussing with the lucky egg on, just rack it up. Adam, you posted a picture the other day. You had like 500 Pokeballs or something.
Yes.
I was like, how? How does he do it? There was a
long
point this
nights.
week where I had no Pokeballs, no Great Balls, and I was down to like 30 Ultra Balls. I go, I've never been this dry in my entire life. And
that
then
happened to me during this event because
500.
it was just nonstop catching. It was just, I have to catch these love discs. I have to catch these Poochyena, like, just to get that Stardust. Like, I just caught.
Well, you're going to have to do that to get to level 40, man, because I'm telling you, 38 and 39 are like, whoo, they're rough. But that's pretty much going to wrap up the show. Adam, you got anything else?
No, just that.
You sound so disappointed, Adam.
Melissa, you wanna
is
yell at
my
anybody?
Machamp killer.
Do you want to yell at anybody?
Want to yell at anybody today?
No, I'm good today.
Leave the internet for like 5 seconds. Come on.
Oh, you don't want me to let the internet out. It's not this late in the show.
But that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks so much for checking us out. You can check out everything we're doing over at GottaWatchEmAll.com. Please email us, luredup@gmail.com. We are at GottaWatchEmAll on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube also. Everything we do goes over to YouTube. Leave us a review in iTunes. We would appreciate it. And, shout out to all the people that are interacting with us on Twitter. We really appreciate that. We're having a lot of fun having communications with you guys, and there's some good conversations going on. And I like to see that people are interested in the technical side of the game. That really intrigues me, and I think there's a lot of information out there, and it's fun to share that information. So kudos if you're interested in that stuff.
And being a nerd.
Yeah, and being a nerd. Because
Nerd.
look, but that's cool because that's a whole side of the game that
It's just nerdy.
is yeah.
Nerd.
Well, all right. Well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But thanks so much, everyone. I can be found at ProudGamerTweet. Adam, where can they find you on the internet?
At Phoenix Back for Fire.
And Melissa is not on the internet. So see you later, guys. Have a great week. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.